He sent somebody through somebody else to try to get in contact with me, telling me enough is enough.
The names of women who have taken legal action against Combs were also on the list, including his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, whose November 2023 sexual abuse lawsuit against the rapper was settled one day after it was filed. Danny DeCane alum Don Richard, who accused Combs of sexual assault in a lawsuit filed in September, was also listed. Combs has denied any wrongdoing in both cases.
Just days ago, the courtroom fell silent as a video played, one that no one expected to see. In it, a shocking moment from Diddy's past was confirmed, and the reaction was instant. Jurors looked stunned. Diddy's hands began to shake. For years, his former bodyguard, Gene Gandeal, had warned the public. He spoke of parties, and control behind the scenes. Most people ignored him. But now, the court is listening, and the evidence is matching his words. Deal wasn't just another voice online. He was part of Diddy's inner circle for years, protecting him during the height of bad boy records. And now he's turning that history into hard truth. The courtroom footage lined up exactly with one of Deal's past stories, and that moment changed everything. This wasn't just gossip anymore. It was real. But that wasn't the whole story, because what Deal revealed next about Diddy's private world would leave the courtroom and the public completely shaken. Gene Deal didn't just work security, he lived inside Diddy's world. He saw what fans and followers never could. In interviews, he described the bad boy empire not as a record label, but as something darker, a place where fear ruled, loyalty was demanded, and privacy didn't exist. According to Deal, every staff member had a role. Phones were taken, rooms were locked, and nothing happened without Diddy's approval. He spoke of parties that weren't just wild, they were planned like operations. Guests were picked, watched, and sometimes forced into things they didn't agree to. Drugs, control, and secret cameras were always part of the setup. At the time, people thought Deal was bitter or chasing clout, but now, in court, those same details are showing up in sworn testimonies.
And my whole thing about it is that Puff wasn't right what he did to people around us, man. He wasn't right what he did to people around us. Him being hard-headed, not listening, and not telling the truth and constantly lying cost a lot of people their lives, man. It cost a lot of people their lives. I want him to understand. When I told him, if we don't do something to these doors, people gonna die tonight. And forget, and I wanna say F what other people say, everybody know I told him that. Our whole crew know I told him that. From Slick to Nord, Bunny, Big Boy, Eddie, all the people that was with us that night know I told them that. 9 people end up dead.
And what happened next would shock everyone, because when a police officer confirmed seeing Cassie with a black eye in 2016, just like Deal once said, it brought the courtroom to a full stop. When Officer Israel Flores took the stand, his testimony sent a wave through the room. He said in 2016, he found Cassie with a black eye, trying to escape from Diddy. That moment, nearly forgotten by the public, matched word for word what Gene Deal had said years ago. Now it wasn't just a story, it was a pattern. Deal had warned that Diddy's actions weren't one-time mistakes. He claimed there was a system in place, one built to control people, and now prosecutors agree. They say Diddy didn't just lose control once or twice. He created an environment where power, drugs, and fear kept everyone in line, and Deal was there to see it all happen.
The parties I seen, I knew that they were spiking drinks. My girl was at the New Year's party, right? I'm at the front door. I gotta make sure everybody got their passes and everything like that. So then, my girl and her girlfriend is in the party. So they get bottles of champagne. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking for them. After everybody comes, they close the door. So I'm going knocking in doors, looking at people. I'm looking for my kid's mother now. What the fuck, what's going on? And I'm getting hysterical. So I decided to go to the car, and I looked in the car. She was in the car asleep. She said, Gene, we started drinking champagne, and I didn't feel good. And me and Debbie came here and went to sleep.
This revelation didn't just confirm one claim, it gave new weight to everything else Deal had said. It made jurors rethink every past rumor, because if one story was true, how many others were too? But that was only the beginning. What Deal revealed next exposed an even darker side of Diddy's private life, one the public never saw. Gene Deal spoke about something he called the freakoffs, private parties at Diddy's mansion that weren't just wild, they were disturbing. According to Deal, these events were carefully planned. Security would take guests' phones at the door, the lights were set a certain way, and people were told where to go and what to wear. But the most chilling part? Deal said everything was recorded. He claimed Diddy used those recordings as leverage. If someone ever tried to speak out or walk away, he had footage that could ruin them. It wasn't about fun, it was about control. And now, Cassie, Lil Rod, and other accusers are telling the same story. They say they were pressured, manipulated, and in some cases, recorded without consent. What was once dismissed as rumor is now turning into hard evidence, and the courtroom is finally seeing the full picture. But what Deal shared next took things even further, because it wasn't just Diddy who kept the system running. It may have started at home. In a twist no one expected, Gene Deal pointed to Diddy's own mother, Janice Combs. He claimed she didn't just look the other way, she may have helped shape the behavior. According to Deal, Janice once ran a modeling agency that was actually a cover for something much darker. He described it as a brothel for high-end clients, hinting that control and secrecy ran in the family. These claims haven't been confirmed by the court, but prosecutors are now looking into that past. They believe Diddy's actions may not have been random. They're painting a bigger picture, one where power, abuse, and manipulation were taught, not just developed. This idea changed the tone in the courtroom. It was no longer just about one man. It became about a system that may have started long before the fame. And when one witness's story matched Deal's old interviews almost exactly, Diddy couldn't hide his reaction. But the most powerful move may still be coming, if Deal takes the stand himself. Gene Deal hasn't taken the stand yet, but if he does, his words could shake the courtroom to its core. Prosecutors believe Deal won't just testify as a witness. He'll speak as someone who lived inside Diddy's world, who saw the parties, the people, and the patterns from behind the scenes. And most importantly, his stories match the evidence, down to the smallest detail. Unlike emotional exes or anonymous tips, Deal is calm, direct, and has nothing to lose. That makes him dangerous to the defense. He's already shared stories and interviews that line up with court documents, police reports, and now witness testimonies. From secret recordings to bribes to women flown out and forced into silence, Deal says he saw it all. Each day he's not on the stand, more evidence confirms his past claims, and the jury is paying attention. But that's not all. Behind closed doors, Diddy's legal team is falling apart, and that's where things get even worse. Inside the courtroom, Diddy's defense team is starting to show cracks. Sources say his lawyers are divided. Some want him to settle, others push to keep fighting, but Diddy refuses to back down. Gene Deal says he warned Diddy years ago to clean things up, especially after Cassie began talking about legal action. But Diddy didn't listen. He ignored his own attorneys and chose to gamble. That same pattern is now playing out in court. Prosecutors revealed that Diddy turned down multiple plea deals earlier this year. One former attorney even advised him to settle for $10 million, but he ended up paying $30 million instead. Legal experts call that a panic move, not a smart one. Diddy once saw himself as untouchable, but in court, that image is falling apart. He's no longer the confident mogul. He's pale, shaking, and asking for breaks. Even his body language tells a story the jury can't ignore. And what's coming next may be even harder for him to face, because more names are about to be called.
And Michael B. Jordan, Kanye West, and more celebrities were name-dropped at Sean Diddy Combs' trial. As jury selection in the mogul's sex trafficking trial got underway May 5th in New York, NBC News reports prospective jurors were shown a list of more than 100 names of people and places that may be referenced during the trial, including actors Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers, and rapper Kanye West. While the aforementioned celebrities are not implicated in the case, the potential jurors were asked whether they knew any of the names listed and whether it would impact their ability to be impartial, per the outlet. Attorneys did not share an explanation for the list. The names of women who have taken legal action against Combs were also on the list, including his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, whose November 2023 sexual abuse lawsuit against the rapper was settled one day after it was filed. Danity Kane alum Dawn Richard, who accused Combs of sexual assault in a lawsuit filed in September, was also listed. Combs has denied any wrongdoing in both cases.
The candidates are being asked about their own connections to or impressions of an array of celebrities, and with no explanation why, at least not yet. The parlor games have begun, my friends. Everybody is trying to connect the dots between the shiny, famous names and the beleaguered rap star Diddy and the charges. Just today, the name Robert Downey Jr. came up in court. When a prospective juror said that he knew a Robert Downey in high school, it was kind of funny. But Robert Downey, the actor, and Diddy apparently do know each other and have been seen together in public. But Robert Downey Jr. reportedly never attended Diddy's parties. So if he does figure into this trial somehow, it's going to be a lot of news to a lot of us. Mike Myers, another favorite Canadian, favorite actor, favorite comedian. He is on the jury question list as well. And that, too, is a tongue-wagging mystery.
The list of people tied to this case is growing, and prosecutors are just getting started. Sources say subpoenas have already been prepared for former Bad Boy employees and even some celebrities. Gene Deal has named names: artists, security staff, and others who attended the freak-off parties or helped keep things quiet. Some of these people have stayed silent for years. Now, they may be forced to speak under oath. There's also talk that former Danity Kane members, like Don Richard and Aubrey O'Day, could testify. Both have publicly accused Diddy of abusive or toxic behavior. If either of them takes the stand, it would destroy the defense's claim that Cassie is just a bitter ex. Even Diddy's sons, Justin and Christian Combs, are under the spotlight. They haven't been charged, but past incidents tied to them could open new doors for the prosecution. But the most explosive name? Diddy's own mother. And if prosecutors can back up Deal's claims about her, the case could turn into something much bigger than anyone imagined. Gene Deal's stories once sounded like wild rumors, but now they're shaping a possible RICO case. Prosecutors are no longer treating this as one man's bad behavior. They're building it as a full criminal enterprise. Deal described Bad Boy as a lifestyle cult, where sex, drugs, and silence were used to control people. He says it wasn't chaos. It was structure pretending to be chaos. Surveillance footage has now surfaced from Diddy's New York property, showing guests led into private rooms. Deal says he knew where every camera was and when guards were told to look away. He even spoke of a grooming protocol where new hires were tested to see how far they'd go, recorded, drugged, and pushed. This kind of operation isn't just disturbing, it's organized, and that's exactly what prosecutors need to prove racketeering. But Deal's final warning may be the most powerful of all, and it's not just about Diddy's actions. It's about the image he spent years trying to protect. For decades, Diddy built himself up as more than just a music mogul. He became a symbol of power, style, and success. From fur coats to private jets, he was everywhere, untouchable, larger than life. But now, in a quiet federal courtroom, that image is falling apart. The confident man who once threw all-white parties in the Hamptons now sits pale, anxious, and unsure. Witnesses are tearing down the persona he created, one statement at a time. Gene Deal says Diddy's biggest fear isn't prison, it's being forgotten, losing his power, losing control, and that's exactly what's happening. The jury isn't just hearing about abuse, they're seeing the systems behind it, the parties, the cameras, the cover-ups. All of it is coming together in a way that's hard to deny. Even Cassie, once dismissed by the defense as a bitter ex, has turned the tables. She admitted to helping with some of the parties, but she also explained the psychological control she was under. That honesty may have made her even more believable in the jury's eyes. With more witnesses expected and federal prosecutors digging deeper, this trial is no longer just about one man. It's about the culture he created and the silence that protected it. And with Deal's warnings now echoing in court, the empire Diddy built is crumbling from the inside. If you're following this case, stay tuned. Things are moving fast, and the next reveal might be the biggest yet. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss what happens next.